All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday to everyone who's here. How are we doing, Mr. Pat?
We're doing great. How's it going, Miss B?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. How is it going, Dr. G?
Pretty good, Miss B. Pretty good. It's going.
Doing all right, doing all right. All right. Thank you everyone for watching and continuing to supporting us. Today, our topic, we have two segments. We have demotions in the workplace, and we also have a topic relating to relationship in the workplace. Before we begin, is everybody ready tonight?
Of course, Miss B. Let's get it.
Let's
We're
get
always ready.
Always ready. So, our first topic is, should you leave or stay in a company after getting demoted? And we'll start with Mr. Pat since he is ready tonight. So, let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. My first instinct is just like either or. You should always exploring your career course board, right? Um, my advice is to always navigate, the decision whether if you should stay on the company that uh, demote you or leave. So if you know what you have to offer, not only for the company or for anybody else, you should decide to see if it's a good decision for you to downgrade yourself just in order for them to keep you, or just look for another company that will understand your value. That's what I got.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, you should evaluate. So, what you're saying is that we have to do self evaluation. So to figure out whether or not we're at fault, or to figure out whether or not it's worth saying. Mr. Pat, that's your question for you.
Yes. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
You said that we should evaluate to decide it whether or not it's our fault. If it's our fault, we stay. What is it that we're evaluating?
Yeah. So you ask question to see if it's something that really deserve your demotion, or maybe they could, use discrimination, or someone might know somebody and that they like better than you and trying to replace you. There's all of these options, that could come in play for you to get demoted out of the job. So by you find out the reason why you get demoted, you can decide to stay or leave. My decision for whoever that happened to, just leave. Find another company, because if you're at a company, you should not you should not accept to get downgraded after you got to a certain position. So if they gonna bring you down, like if you stay, that means you're gonna have to find a way to make them trust your hard work again. Instead of going to all that, you should just leave and find something else.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Dr. G, ready? What do you have for us?
Yes, Miss B. What was the question again? Can you come again, please? Start over.
Should you stay
Yes.
or leave after getting demoted?
I believe you should stay.
You think we should stay?
Yeah, because demotion don't just happen just for no reason. Sometimes it's because of people's behavior, the way they behave at work. They keep coming late. They do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's because of the job profit, so they're not making any profit. So if you have a better options, I suggest you to leave. But if you don't have it, so you deserve you get what you deserve.
You get what you deserve.
Yes.
But sometimes it's not always their fault. And it's discrimination is not always black and white, right? Because you can't just say it's discrimination, right, without proof. Right. So saying that it's discrimination, that's just, it's creating more problems for you, because you don't have any concrete proof, anything that suggests otherwise. It's just because you think that you have been working hard, all of a sudden, then it should be discrimination. So if you're not really sure it's discrimination, you just know that you have been working hard, that you just feel that it's unfair, like it's an unfair decision. Not an unfair decision. You still think that they should stay?
Yes. Deep down, you should know if you did something wrong or not. Or if they demote you for no reason, you should talk to your boss at least. Let them know what's going on. If not, that's why they have HR or union. So you reach out to see what's going on. They probably don't want to tell you exactly what you did, but at least they should tell you, okay, based on that, we feel like you're not giving us like the best of you. You feel me?
Dude, getting demoted is such an L, bro. Like I don't know, maybe my ego. It's such an L, bro. Like imagine you're a manager and then now they're like, okay, so you're not quote unquote doing a good job and we're gonna just make you as a regular employee and then someone come out of nowhere and be your manager now. Like that's such an L. I would not want to stay, dude. I guess you can't call it ego whatsoever.
We'll get it. Someone younger.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, I'll just leave and find some where I feel appreciated, pretty much. If I'm not appreciated at your house, bro, doses.
I mean, most of the time, we I'm going to say it like you probably trigger a lot of people, but this is the truth. We go to work most of the time to pay our bills.
Right.
Because of the money. Let's say they're paying you good money, so, and then you don't want to leave the job.
That's why
we know whatever you getting paid, it's not easy to get it somewhere else. So how you gonna let
that's why when I was saying like you have to evaluate yourself. If you feel like you deserve more or you educate enough to find another job, it's best for you to just leave. Just because one job don't see your value does not mean there's not other jobs out there that's gonna see your value. You know, there's always, I know my good friend Luke always says, you know, shout out to Luke if he's in the live, you know, there's jobs out there, man. You just not looking enough. There's mad jobs out there, you know, so I get it, you know, if you have certain responsibilities, like you don't want to leave your job. But that's why you always have to, you know, like when you're at a job, don't get too comfortable. Like, you know, save your bread. Don't get too comfortable just in cases, you know, it's that time that either they fire you or you have to leave so you can actually sustain yourself for about like a couple weeks or a month until you find something else. Like there's no way you can just sitting there like if you are 100% looking for a job, not finding a job within a month or 2 weeks. It might not be what you're looking for, but you're going to.
There you go. I was about to say that. So, go ahead, Ms.
Yeah. I agree with Pat. It is an L. It's a bad stain. Right. But don't get me wrong, though. And I do understand where you would stay because, I mean, honestly, the only two thing I could think of is that, one, you don't have the financial means to leave right now. Like, you know, you have kids, you have responsibilities, so you can't afford to leave. So it's not like right now you can't even think about your ego. The second thing is that you realize it's your fault and every paperwork showing that it's your fault. So if you leave, honestly, the other companies would just look at it as that you're irresponsible. You know, so, you know, you're unreliable, you know, so it's going to make it harder for you to leave. So it looks bad on your part. So if you realize that it's your fault and every single paperwork is pointing at you and saying that it's your fault, then I understand by taking a step back and try to recreate that image. Yeah. You know, rebrand yourself in a way to kind of just like, you know what, I'm going to take a minute and do it. But however it looks, it is an L because at the end of the day, when you stay in a company after getting demoted, you lose on promotions. Yeah. You know, other department will literally just not take you because you have that in your record that you can't handle it.
No, to me, regardless if it's my fault, bro, I might stay because of, like you said, like if I have a family or either not having a family, if I have a lot of responsibilities, I might stay so I can look for another one.
Right.
Like if it's really my fault, okay, I'll take that L for a while, my dog, because I'm living. Exactly. You know what I mean? Because it's such an L. It's not looking good, brother.
And emotionally, it's draining because you now have to try to prove yourself. You're around your coworkers that you usually
exactly. You know, it's like you're looking for sympathy. Like, oh, please give me my position back. Nah, bro. Deuces. We out.
Dr. G, what do you have for us?
I mean, that's where I stand. Where I said that if you deserve it, you should stay. Because if you keep
now you're looking for sympathy, bro.
Like, no. If you, as Ms. B said, so if you don't leave, It's gonna look bad on you regardless. Or wherever you're gonna apply, they're gonna look at your background to see why did you leave the other job. You get it? So if it's your fault, so you should stay and then improve yourself and then look for other job.
But do you have to? Look, what I said was, yeah, I do think if it's your fault that it may be something you want to like you want to consider, because if I'm looking at it from the business perspective, if I'm looking at your application and then I'm seeing this and then your stories and like, you know, because to me it's like you're a critter. And nobody want a critter. Nobody wants somebody who's going to leave when things get hot, right? But like, you know, I'm with Patrick here. There's more because when you have to try to prove yourself, because then you wonder, like, if I've been working this hard and you didn't recognize my worth, then what could I possibly do for you to actually notice me?
Well,
and sometimes your work should speak for yourself without you just doing all the extra work.
I get it, Miss B. But most of the time, as I said before, demotion don't happen just because. If it happens just because, it's discrimination. So there's other places you could go and then put these people in trouble. So if demotion, like if it's because of your behavior, because you keep coming late, because they tell you to do certain things, you don't want to do it. You should have known to look for other job way before that. You get what I'm saying? Don't just you go to work and then you do whatever you want and then you expect not to get any consequences or any you get what I'm saying? That's where I stand. But I totally agree with you. It's an L. Regardless, it's an L. So if you're not performing well or if you're not meet the expectations or they demote you, you deserve it. That's the way I see it.
It is very much a hell, honestly. And sometimes it becomes unhealthy. You know, we're going back to the unhealthy place. If it's unhealthy, you're getting out. So, and I think that when you are in a company, and then that's like something that I think everyone should look at, your title it can't be how you define your value. It really cannot be how you define your value, because when that demotion come, and it will come, then it's not just the job saying that you're incompetent. You will start to believe it yourself, because that's how you yourself measured your value. If you know yourself, you know what you do, you know how you do it, and you know you do it well. Even if they demoted you to be a janitor, honestly, it will not affect how you work, how you see yourself. It would not affect your work ethic. Honestly, it would. The only thing it's taking away from you is just your title.
Yeah.
So at this point, you could just, you know what, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's only thing I could really tell people. If it is come to that, or if you are in a company right now and it hasn't happened to you, and right now your perception of your job is to, oh my God, I'm gonna get promoted. You know, it gives you that emotional boost or that ego boost. Take that away, or do it. Celebrate for 10 seconds and literally go back to your work. Honestly, that's what I would advise.
But at the same time, we have to talk for these people too. These people that think that they deserve everything, even though they're not doing anything for it. You get it? If you did get demoted, you see what I'm saying? If you did get demoted, so it's because maybe you're not doing something well, or something is not going well. So you should improve yourself. So don't just blame it on the company, or this is hell, I'm gonna look for another job. Of course, it's easy to get another job. Let's say you're getting paid 6 figures, and then you're not giving your best, so they demote you. You're gonna get mad for that.
I agree.
You should know your value and prove your value, as you said. So
I agree.
That's the best.
And as a business, like I majored in business, and I really love business. I 100% support that, and I tell my families all the time, if I have a company and I don't think that you could play the role, I would not just give it to you just because you're my brother or just because you're my friends. I'm not gonna do that. If you can't perform, you can't perform, and we're in the business to make money. So I'm not here to just. No, I'm not going to do it. And just because at the end of the day, it's going to start impacting my business. And eventually it's going to start impacting you, because if the business is not growing, then you're not going to get a paycheck. Yeah, so I agree. I'm not going, I wouldn't. If you are wrong, and well, I'm kind of with Patrick on this one too, because if I am wrong, it's going to still be hard to grow in this place.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave so I could Because here's one thing about being wrong and staying in the same place. Every single time, like anything at this job reminds you of your own failure. It's not that you're quitting or anything like that. So I guess in a way too, you kind of have to leave because these people and some people don't let go of your mistake.
Also, for
and
your
if you're a
mental state,
perfectionist,
like, this will mess you up.
it will.
I don't think after you get demoted, you have that same drive that you had when you get promoted.
No, you do not.
I don't think you're gonna have it. Like this thing gonna mess with you. You know?
Yes, and it will reflect of your job satisfactions, and
So-
mentally, it's going to just become drained.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
best to just evaluate yourself and see what you need to improve, and go improve elsewhere. Like you don't have to stay.
I agree. Yeah, just get up and leave because honestly,
Like,
it's
gee, you talking about like, oh, if you're getting six figures and stuff like that. Most likely, when you get demoted, you get demoted with the pay too.
and yes,
Some
but
of them,
sometimes though,
not all the time.
sometimes it's even better to take a pay cut than to deal with the mess.
Deal with the mess. Exactly. It's okay to take the pay cut. At least certain pay cut, it's most likely setting you to get like a higher pay in the future.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna build your resume, build your experience to a different, level, and then when it's time for you to leave that job that give you that pay cut, you're gonna get a job that's gonna pay you way more. You lose some, you win some in life. That's how it goes.
I mean, I totally agree with you. You evaluate yourself. Totally agree with that part. So that's where I stand. You can leave. You can do whatever you want. All I'm saying
He's like,
that-
I'm not leaving.
all I'm saying is that you should, if you know you're wrong, so you should stay and prove yourself, and then go look for somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. Don't just leave because your ego, or even though you know you're at wrong, then your ego say, leave, go leave. Me, I don't totally agree with that part.
Well, sometimes leaving is not just about the ego too. Sometimes it's just finding something more stable or an environment that will contribute to your growth. Because like Patrick says, like your job satisfaction is going to decrease. And if you're not satisfied, you're not happy because now you're feeling that, like, you're just like bummed out because they demote you, and you're just like feeling that unfair, you're feeling disrespected, there's no way you're going to try harder. As a matter of fact, you're just going to be like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing this. And usually demotion comes with less responsibility. You're just going to be chilling. There's no growth, not personal, not career-wise. You don't get any growth. I mean, you could make it your own, I guess, to which is on, because now that you have working from home, so I guess it is kind of somewhat a different environment, but still, I think, I don't know. You gotta go. But anyway, that is the first segment of today's topic. Should you stay or should you leave? Leave.
Leave.
And then
Leave. Like, if you can run.
Yes, run.
but I would say stay and then prove yourself, and then go look for something else. Because most of the time, demotion don't happen just because. It's because you're not doing something well, or something is wrong with you, you're not behaving well, or you keep coming late. That's why they demote you. They don't just demote you just because they feel like it. If they do that, that's discrimination. So,
But there's wired ups. You don't have to take my power off of my shoulder. Like, you can write me up, and if I kept doing it over and over, then you fire me. You don't have to demote me.
okay, that's when the demotion usually they talk to you first, and then they write you up, and then after that they demote you. They don't just do it
Not always.
straightforward.
Not always.
Most of the time, that's how it happens. If it doesn't happen like that, so that's discrimination, obviously.
That's the thing. Discrimination, you can't just go around and just say, I feel discriminated against, is...
I think as a job, as a facility, if I were to be a manager or like, regional manager, like, I don't think I would be demoting my leaders, which is my managers. If I was a regional manager, I would just fire you.
You wouldn't demote them?
No, I would just fire you.
That's
and
true.
call it a day.
Let's say you're good at somewhere else. So if you're good at something else, and I know you're expert of it, so I can demote you, send you there. I'm looking.
I think
I'm
that's taking advantage of people.
is that what?
Do you know what I'm
It
saying?
can be.
It's just
because
like,
they still
okay,
need you.
but certain the reason
Your
why you demote
knowledge,
me is
your
because you still
resources.
need me. It's because you still need me. You
And
expect me
some-
to say yes. Sometimes they're like, okay, you can keep the same pay, but we're just gonna downgrade you.
So P, you think what most of the job I do just because they like you? It's because they're doing something good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's because they like me. I mean, they like what you do.
Exactly.
What you bring into the company.
So therefore, they put you somewhere that they can benefit your effort. So they demote you.
Nah. Anyways.
It's worse if they take away your pay too. I feel like
Yeah.
you getting like, I don't know, it's two strikes. You know, it's worse. As a matter of fact, if they take your pay, forget it. It's leave. Don't even try to do no self-reflection, nothing. I don't know. Just go. But second topic for today. Actually, any final words or any?
Oh no, I mean, I strongly, I think we both sharing the same belief as of like, most likely you just have to leave that job and find something better.
And then I say that you should stay and put yourself and look for something else. Most of the time it's because of you. That's why they demote you. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Okay. If you say so. Actually, Michelle Armour says, I agree with Ms. B. Maybe your work performance wasn't up to par to the current manager, but maybe for the next job, it will be. Some businesses like to have close friends or peers for their benefits. It all depends on the company. That is true. Sometimes it is favoritism. They just need to, they have somebody else in mind and you need to go. You're in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So... And that sucks because it happens more often than not. And it is what it is, honestly. So that's that's the leaders we have in this world today. But okay, second topic.
Favoritism.
Favoritism. Actually, that's perfect timing for favoritism because we are about to discuss Mr. Pat's favorite topic or favorite segment of today's show. Should you date your boss or should you date your coworkers? We're going to start with Dr. G.
Should you date your coworker or your boss? My answer is no. Is it possible for you to find your partner, your long-term partner? Of course, possible. But as for me, I would suggest anybody not to do it. Everybody not to do it. It's not a good thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Mr. Pat?
I'm kind of like in the middle though.
Okay.
Like, let's say if you were with that person before the job and, and it happens that you guys ended up, being in the same company, just because of that, I don't think you should break. If whatever you guys have is real, I don't think you should break it up. But I would say 90 or 99% of companies in America will definitely tell you there shouldn't be, you guys should not be having romance in the company. First, it's not good for business. And since we're talking about demotion, this could be a core of that too.
Facts.
That you're dating your partners.
And they probably like you, but they want to keep you, and they're like, okay, so this is the offer we have for you.
But it wouldn't stop you from dating your partner.
Yeah, they might send you to a different. Well, I'm just saying, in a way,
it could be a reason.
It could be a reason. So my answer is yes and no, but I'm mostly on the no side. I kind of agree with Dr. G. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think your partner should be in the same job place as you. That's kind of weird. But if it's a quickie, if it's not something serious, if it's something that's good for you, knock yourself out. But I don't think you should get things serious in a job place to be with somebody, unless if you guys were already serious before the job.
Interesting, because Dr. G said unless it is serious, you shouldn't even try.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's serious, I don't think you should break your serious relationship just because of a job.
No, but it's starting. So your answer was whether or not it was actually start before you.
If it's before that, yeah. So
let's say you're
break
starting it. You guys met one another, because workplace relationship, it is currently right now the top 3 places you find your lifelong partners. Yes, it is very frowned up on to
Really?
yes, to date your boss or to date your coworkers, but it is the top 3 places right now lifelong partners are being found.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So with that
Shoot,
said,
I guess I learned something today.
That's the main reason why I said if you're serious about it, go for it. Knock yourself out. But if you think you're just doing it to have fun, just because you like your
But most people do it to just have fun. Like,
It is,
they're at work and
then that's enough.
they have some kind of
spicy.
like,
It does spice up
attraction,
the whole
and then
thing.
it just happened. It could be like a one-time thing or one night thing.
it depends.
Or-
If you're not mature enough, I don't think you even should try.
I just said
You know.
maturity will play a good part. Like, I mean, if you know what you have at home is very serious, you should not even try that. But mostly, like, it happens on the young ones, like the early 20s.
Yes, you know what?
The
And
early
that's-
20s. I mean,
That's
it
what I was
happens.
going to say. Right in the 20s too, you have room to make that kind of mistakes.
yeah, you
And
have
it's-
room.
Honestly, the whole spice, and I'm going out of character here, because working with someone that you are physically attracted to, or you getting that that spice from, and they getting the juice from you and everything, it really excite you to come to work even more. So
Exactly.
if you have the room to make that kind of mistake, you are young, is definitely something you should check off your bucket list. But
Facts.
if you are in your 30s, it's really not recommended to even try to date your boss. But G, you said something. I actually maybe Pat said it. If it's a different department, does it matter if it's a different department?
Yes, as I said, yeah. If it's a different department, of course you can do it. But as I said again, if you know you came to play, if you're not 20s, if you're not a teenager, if you want to have, because teenager and 20, if you're in your 20s, you want to have fun, experience and stuff like that. But if you're in your 30s, then you're looking for a long-term partner, go for it. But if you know you're not serious about it, don't do it. If you're in your 30s,
Interesting. Whether or not it's a different department.
yes.
Interesting. With different department it does create something. If your work, there's no cross reference, like, there's nothing like that relates, or that, especially if you guys, the department is like on a 3rd floor, you guys don't see each other. Like, they have their own cafeteria, you have your own cafeteria, like literally you don't see each other. I could see how it would be less dramatic, because then, because believe it or not, coworkers can file sexual harassment on you for dating someone else.
Yeah.
Facts.
They're being jealous of you, yeah.
It's not jealousy. It just, they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. So they can file it. But because you're in a different department, they're not seeing you being all lovey-dovey to each other. So it's okay. And funny enough, I was watching this video on Instagram, and it was this guy in a bar, and then this guy come up to him and said, "Do you know what this noise is? Like, where is it coming from?" And then the guy in the bar said, "Yes, I know very much so. They are making love." And then the other guy said, "That's illegal." And and the guy in the bar said, "Yet, hate is not. Love is illegal. You can't do love, but hate, you could do it anywhere, anytime. You could. It's supported." So it brings me to my topic here: how we find it okay to see someone else, like, verbally abusing somebody, spreading the hate and everything. We just mind our business. But if we see somebody, those two loving each other and having fun, somehow it's okay to file sexual harassment. Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting. This is supposed
I
to
mean,
be-
that's kind of tricky what you just said. I mean, sexual harassment is sexual harassment. It's not based on love. It's based on you being a pervert.
Well, no, I'm
You know,
filing
so-
sexual harassment for you dating another coworker.
Oh, right. People do that?
You can. And yes, because it makes them feel uncomfortable.
Really?
Yes, they could.
Mind your business.
Mind your goddamn business, bro. Like, shoot. It makes you feel uncomfortable. Like, what makes you feel uncomfortable? It's not like we out here making love at a job place. You know, you just know that we're together, and then it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's some crazy crap, man. Like, that's crazy,
Welcome to America.
man.
Comment. It all depends on the company. Let's see. Emmanuel E. Jersey said it's not safe. It's really not. There's no privacy, you know, and the gossips. Yeah. It gets too much sometimes where, like, you know, you just feel like, you know, all eyes on you, you know. And I don't know. I agree. It might have its benefit, LOL. I agree with you here. There is some spikes. There's some spice into it, so I could see it. If you think about it, you spend more time at work than anything. So if it is a different department, like I said, I could see it happening because then, you know, you get a chance to, even if it's just spending lunch, you know, meeting each other in your car and then just having lunch, it you know, it creates a bond. You know, you don't have to work too hard and even doubt each other because we work at the same place. We get out at the same time. It saves on gas because you're sharing cars.
They said most couples who are unfaithful is because one of them is smashing someone at work.
Well, that creates a whole other thing, and because you're seeing it all happening.
Yeah, if the only mostly, you know, the place the other party goes to is work, and she or he's cheating, it could be at work.
But do you think then that would prevent the partner from cheating then, if they both work at the same place? Because now that I know my partner is
I don't think you should, like, me personally, I don't think I'm sharing the idea of like, oh, I have to work at the same place as you to prevent you to cheat on me or vice versa. I think that's unhealthy. That's like also me would have to check myself. Like, why would I even have that thought in my head? You know, the person should know better not to do certain things. So, like, if she go ahead and do it, that's on her.
Well, not intentionally. Like, but do you think if it does happen that way, like you met each other at work, do you think it lessens, like, you know, it creates some type of like you know, it makes you take a second guess. Like, you know, I probably shouldn't do this, or like even just being too friendly with somebody and stuff like that. Do you think it will create that environment where you know, keep it in a strict professional as you should?
Right.
But do you think it would force you to enforce that, you know, kind of, I guess, mentality? Not just a question for you, but G, you could answer. You've been quiet.
As I said, that's a no to me. So it's not safe either way. But I get what you're saying. But if we're together for 40 hours, 5 days a week, there's less chances of you looking at other people. You feel me? So
you'll be surprised, brother.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got less chances, as I said.
Yeah.
Is it possible to cheat? Of course it's possible. But
if we are at work, we are at work. So I don't think this is something you should be focused on, you know. So, but there's other possibility that people can always go ahead and do this stuff. So, being 24/7 with each other, it's not. I guess you could say it's a way to, you know, have eyes on each other. But yet again, you know, me personally, I wouldn't even have that thought in my head, is because not only we can, you know, have eyes on each other to watch each other's behavior and stuff like that. I don't think this is something this is a mindset I would be, you know, exploring. So.
I had a friend who worked with her man. It didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. And it does create that negative environment, because then if you have a partner that is very jealous,
so now other men at that job probably, especially if no one knows,
they see you
if no one knows, and then other people is out here like being flirty with her, or she's been flirty with other people, so now you out here like having bad blood and arguing. It's just not healthy, not only for the company and also for you. It's not healthy.
Yeah, you
Because
could-
if you do it in a company, you have to keep it a secret. So other people don't know that she or he's your partner, and other people at work might see flirty stuff, and you out here hearing it. And once you get home, you argue like, "Come
and
on."
he's
that's-
like, I saw you talking to him.
yeah. And then when he
I saw you
get,
smiling the
yeah,
wrong way.
you were like Gigi Gaga the whole
Right,
time.
why were
when
you so
when Mr.
giggling?
J walk in the room, you were Gigi Gaga. You know what I mean? So like to the point he could create like a crazy jealousy that both of you guys can lose your job.
I could see that.
So-
But I would say maturity has to be the first thing. If you plan on dating your partner, or if you see someone that you actually like, and not just your maturity, because sometimes we think we're mature, we're not. But it's not just our maturity that we have to take into consideration, is the other person's. And some people kiss and tell.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Especially if that case was wet enough. So
He's
They
gonna
go-
be spreading it, or she's going to talk about it, and everybody's
they
going
go
to
ahead
know.
and tell
Yeah.
like, girl, let me tell you.
Exactly. So you don't
Next
want,
thing you know, you're in trouble.
and
Yeah.
God knows. And if he's the type, and if you guys are going sharing pictures, and then your whole picture is gonna be throughout the company, just spreading around, and it's really not a good
It's
look.
just not healthy.
Yeah,
Not good.
it's a no.
Resi
Yeah.
Roman says, heck no. Noah Lug says, I don't know, emergency? I'm not sure what that means. Good. I think she was referring to one of our comments. Michelle Arma says, sometimes older men and women likes to trigger the younger employee. Interesting.
Also,
Likes to trigger them by being flirty, could be.
I don't know.
Like, okay, I'm in a management position, so that is harassment, though, I would say. Because if they are in a higher position, or like even if not, like, you know, they're older and they're just looking at you weird. Yeah, she did say like being flirty. Interesting. If that happened, honestly, I was watching something where this girl was explaining, it was a show where they add cameras to her office, and it was only her office.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, the minute I saw it, I would have just taken it off and be like, is this meant to be there? Did you guys have a meeting? Then they could explain it. They could tell me why it's there. I'm not even going to say, can you remove it? I'll remove it and bring it to HR and be like, I see a camera in my office, but no one else has a camera. Or I don't know. Did you guys have a meeting? Is this supposed to be there? Then you could decide what you want to do with it. Because then I don't want to tell you to remove it, then you forget to remove it, and you keep watching, and I have to send out another email. No, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to tell you about it, and then you could decide. And then you could, you know, just get it out. 'Cause it is kind of annoying. Sometime, though, I can say sometime that people are friendly or nice. And then can be considered, and I've seen a lot of people get accused, and
Yeah.
it's not, you know, it's not fair, you know, and sometimes you just don't know, especially with this world right now. Everybody's on high alert.
Facts.
Everybody's on high alert. So
And
honestly, keep your sneaky comment to yourself, keep your
Yeah,
hands to yourself, whether or not you
Everybody's
think
very
it's funny.
sensitive, and you know, that's why companies now are giving you like each quarter of the year, or maybe before that, they're giving you like tests like these discrimination, videos to watch, and to know what to say, what not to say. It's draining.
yeah, and then
It's like, dude,
another thing too. Most of the time, like as Miss B said, so it's not their fault. Some people are just like that naturally.
yeah.
The fact that people being nice to other people think they something. Most of the time, it's not like that. You get what I'm saying? Then again, so you know, you should at work, you should know I have to be it. That's the way I see it. But at the same time, don't just think that just because people talking to you nicely, they're flirting with you. You get what I'm
That's
saying?
true too.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get the wrong message.
There you go. Some people nice naturally, they're just nice.
Yeah.
Flirty. People call it flirty. To me, I don't think it's flirty. That's
I think
the
it's
way people are.
They want to make you feel welcome.
There you
know,
go.
getting you to that environment where, you know, you could feel relaxed enough so you
There
could
you
have
go.
a conversation.
Yes.
But sometimes it does look like, why are you too friendly?
But it's up, at the same time, it's up to you to know what you want. You feel me?
That's
Even
true.
though people being flirty to you, you should know what you want. Hey, you can't be flirty all day. It's up to me to know what conversation I'm gonna reply to.
I mean, tell them. Tell them. I've had like, older men where like, it will start like that. And I'll tell them like, I don't appreciate it. And then we become really good friends where you actually get a lot of wisdom from
Yes.
them.
Facts.
You hear about their stories, their like, their whole life, obstacle, the things that they go through. And it can be pretty, amazing sometimes, but you have to tell them that you feel uncomfortable by them acting or saying a certain things, and sometimes we just not use to things like Hispanic use like love to call you mama. Some people like to call you love and say hey love, like it's just like some people have like a language that they just been using, and
You get used to it.
sometimes nobody have said like anything to them, they just think it's normal, and then it just come to you that you just don't like it.
Yeah.
So it's like, how am I supposed to know out of 100 people that's been saying it's okay, and then you're the one who's saying that? So it is a very tricky, but not to dismiss the whole thing, because harassment is a very much, a thing. So not to take away from that. Either.
Miss B. Then again, what is harassment? So as you just said, some people, Spanish people, as you said, they like to call people papi, mama, mommy. It's not because they want to holler at you or they want to flirt with you.
But sometimes it's intentional too. So that's what I'm saying.
I
I,
mean,
don't
how do you know
want to
that?
take away from that. I think if it's forced, like if you said something, if you behave a certain way and I come to you and I said it makes me feel uncomfortable, and then you keep doing it and you're forcing yourself, and I think that's when it gets to that point.
But-
And some people even go to the extent where they start touching you, and so yeah, so you will know.
But Miss B, but I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate, but some people love it, right? They love the attention, but at the same time they go to somebody else. Oh, I think he's flirting with me. I think he's doing that. I think she's doing that, vice versa. You feel me? Some people like the attention, but they're gonna tell other people about it. That's one thing I don't like. So if you don't like
Yeah.
it, as you said, so tell them straight up. I don't like the way you call me because I'm not used to that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So simple as that.
So I get what you're saying. They'll put themselves in a position
To get
to
it.
quote unquote get harassed or get attention, so they can go ahead and tell on you. Yeah.
Exactly. That they can
Pretty
look
much,
and
you
point.
they trying to trap you.
Yeah,
bro.
there you go. That's one
Yeah,
thing
I
I don't
mean-
like. And
No,
then-
I disagree. But how could someone put themselves in a position to be harassed?
I wouldn't say harass per se, but to be
get the attention.
the attention, like sometimes get the flirty attention, and then they call it harassed.
Okay. Someone looking at you and said, "Oh my God, you look so nice today."
That's harassment,
It's
right?
so different as someone like literally like feeling you and be like, I could get like it's a whole different tone. It's a different gesture, the way they speak about it, the way they do it. It's not just like, "Oh my God, you look so nice today."
But-
Oh my
but
God, I like your
that's-
curls.
No, Miss
You
B,
know,
that's
oh
where-
my God,
that's where
you're wearing a button-down shirt. This color look good on you. It's not just like a verbal thing like this. They make it known that they are feeling you.
Miss B.
And that's when it gets to that point where like, even some of them even go to the extent of actually touching you.
So,
So,
as you said earlier, how do you know that's not how they are?
touching you?
No, the way you said it.
Like they like to touch
I like
people?
it where, I didn't say where to touch people, Miss B. You said the way people said it. Is that what you said?
Right,
Let's say-
right.
Exactly. Maybe that's how they were raised. So for you probably think that's harassment, but for them it's not. It's up to you to take it however
There's
you
a way
want.
where it's too
Miss B,
much. Come
come
on
on.
now. You don't
Miss
just
B.
calling somebody, "Hey baby." Like it's no.
Miss
No,
B.
it's no.
It-
There,
it-
there's
hold on,
there is
hold on,
a
Miss
there's
B.
there's a point.
You see, that's the thing, P. If a woman like a guy, right? If the guy say, "I like your red dress, you look nice," they're not gonna say anything. They're gonna say, "Thank you." But if a guy that they don't like come to them, most of the time they're gonna say, he's checking me out. Or
Yeah, is he trying to
harassing me."
highlight me?
Well,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, like, it gets to the point where, like, okay, you verbally express to this person, you talking to me right now like that makes me uncomfortable. And then they kept going.
But what I'm saying, like most of the time, it's you only make you uncomfortable when you don't like that person.
It doesn't matter. But right now, how you expressing yourself is making me uncomfortable. You're making me uncomfortable.
Okay.
Whether or not I'm friend with Patrick, and I'm okay with when Patrick does it, but when you do it, I am feeling uncomfortable. But I'm expressing that how you're doing it, whatever you're doing right now, is making me uncomfortable. But instead of stopping and now you just start touching me, no.
Miss B, I didn't say touching.
I'm just saying, like, it gets to that point.
Okay, I get it. But as you said, so if you don't like it, you tell whomever is doing it, right? Tell them to stop. But as I said, some people love it. They never said anything, but they go and tell somebody else, I think he's flirting with me. I think he's doing, or I think she's vice versa. That's what I'm saying. It's up to you. Whomever is receiving it, know how you're going to get it. Like, people can say whatever they want. It's the way you perceive it. You get what I'm saying? If you don't like it, you tell them you don't like it. But don't take it and then don't say anything to that person and go to somebody else, tell them that, oh, I think he's flirting with me. I think he's doing it. Or I think she's vice versa. That's what I'm saying.
And sometimes, too, pulling somebody inside and said, hey, this person just did so-and-so. Do you think he's flirting with me? Sometimes they're just trying to figure out whether or not it's being done to everybody or just this person is strictly targeting them. So it's not always like, I'm being flirted at. I must be the cuter one here. Like, no, it's not always this case. So sometimes they're just trying to pull aside, is this how this guy is? Or is he really just targeting me and sexually harassing me?
Yeah, I mean, you have a point. The way you describe it makes sense. It doesn't always have to be, the female looking for the attention. Sometimes it's the guy himself that is a pervert. Like, he's that's how he operate. But also, I understand where G's coming from. Sometimes, you see people want the attention so they can go ahead and tell another person that, oh yeah, I'm getting this attention from Mr. Gene. Although they could just have a simple conversation with Mr. Gene that, hey, I don't like what you do. Or because I say that to you, you might think this is what it means. This is not what it meant, and this would have been stopped.
Simple as that.
But instead, they just keep leading Mr. Gene's on so Mr. Gene can keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So they can go ahead and tell other people, like, yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that. Exactly. Like, you also have to, blame yourself,
There you go.
What do you mean by leading on?
Leading on as of, like, you don't have to say anything sometimes. Sometimes it's body language.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Like,
what do you mean by leading on? How would you
as
say,
of, like
somebody
I know if I
what
look
is your
at him this
perspective on
way,
it?
if I look at Mr. Gene this way, or if I say that, he's definitely gonna act like this, and you kept saying it.
Well, if you're flirting back and then you are giving the green light, then it. I guess it is a very gray line when it gets to that part where you're actually playing a part on it.
All right.
So, if that's the case, I think you can't just. Here's my thing. If you started that way, where you guys both been flirting and, feeling one another or whatnot, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, you met another, this new, fresh, shiny prince just, come on, and all of a sudden you don't like this guy anymore and you want to go to the other one. I think the best way to approach this will be to let them know what's happening. Look, I no longer feel okay to keep flirting with you or to keep doing this. I wanna stop this. And I think at this point, if someone is no longer consent, to, have that kind of relationship with you, and I think both of them should at this point agree to just like, you know what, let's drop it.
Yeah.
But Miss B, as you said earlier, right? If you don't like certain ways people talk to you, you tell them, but you don't have to go tell somebody else. But then again, you said you could go to somebody else and say that, hey, is he like that? Is he always flirting with people, or is she vice versa? That's the thing. The truth don't need no witness, right? Eventually, a pervert everybody gonna know he's a pervert or she's a pervert. Vice versa. So. All I'm saying, like most of I just said earlier, I totally agree with the part when you said that. If you don't like it, tell that person, whomever is doing it to you, let them know. You don't have to go to somebody else and explain, like try to make yourself look in point. If you feel me?
Well,
And
sometimes
I think he's flirting with me. I think he's doing that. He doesn't
But
have to go like that.
You're
That's what I'm
looking
saying.
at it by someone pulling someone aside and expressing how they are feeling right now and getting their side, getting their advice as if like it's an attention seeker. It's not.
It is most of the time, Miss B.
It's not.
The same way you do
not
it. What?
most of the time, because some people they are really looking for some type of advice and some type of clarity. And sometimes maybe they have been accused from jumping to the conclusion when sometimes it's really not, and maybe they're just looking, okay, I want to get a second opinion with this. When this person does this, I feel this and I express it, he doesn't stop. Like, what do you think? That's not attention seeker. That is just making sure before I go to HR and get this person to lose his job, let me just make sure that this is actually the case.
You don't have to go
and
to
I
HR.
think that's fair.
That person is the best person to talk to. As you said earlier, I totally agree with you. So you tell that guy or that woman, I don't like the way you're looking at me or the way you talk to me. Let them know. You don't have to go to somebody else to seek their attention. Or okay, let's say
what happened when you already did it and they didn't listen? And now they do it a
that's
second
something
time.
else, Miss B. You didn't say that at first. All I'm saying, like, the first time people do something to you you don't like, let them know about it. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to go to somebody else and then get their attention or to look more important. Or I think he's flirting with me or she's flirting with me. All I'm saying, like, talk to that person. If she or he makes you feel uncomfortable, let them know it. You don't have to go to somebody else to get their attention. Let's say that person you go to, they probably don't like you. They're going to say, yeah, you always like that. People lie all the time. Instead of putting people in trouble, so talk to them first. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I agree with expressing. I do agree with telling them what's going on, how you feel, and let them make the second decision, because we all deserve a chance to know if we're doing something wrong.
Yes.
And then give us that chance to fix it. And if not, then we could go to that extreme.
Yeah.
I guess I could agree with that. Before we go close, it is almost an hour. Michelle Armour says, the touching part, I think it's a bit excessive. I believe that action needs to be allowed from the other person as well. If you allowed the person to call you other names besides your name, it's also your fault.
Yes.
I believe that action needs to be allowed from the other person as well.
Yes, I totally agree with Michelle. Yeah, that's
If
facts.
you allow, what do you understand it as? Because I'm trying to.
as I've been saying on the previous podcast, so most of the time it's because it's your fault. You allow people to do certain things to you, and then when they keep on doing it, then you get mad about it. At the first place, it's because of you that allow them to do it, to continue doing it. You never said anything about it. You keep give them like how can I say it? You keep giving like options to do it, or you allow them. You tell them do it to me, not verbally, but by your body language, in a sense.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to take you guys, for example. If I like Patrick, so I'm okay with Patrick doing certain things and you doing it and I'm telling you not, and all of a sudden you feel some type of way because, well, I allow Patrick to do it. Do you think it's fair to report you and not report Patrick?
You should not report. You should talk to that guy. If he continues doing it, so you report, you do whatever you have to do.
Okay.
You like whoever you like. You don't like whoever you don't like. So
no, I'm just out of curiosity because some people do see other people treating you a certain way and then they think it's okay to treating you that way, even though they don't have that close relationship with
as Michelle
you.
said, if you allow it, obviously they're gonna keep on doing it.
Well, not always allowing. Sometimes they just see someone doing it and they think, automatically think, oh, she's cool with that kind of behavior, and then all of a sudden they do it, but they don't understand your relationship with that person. Sometimes it's just because you know each other prior to this job, so you have a very cool vibe, or you guys are just best friends.
Okay, if they do it if they do it one time, you don't say anything, they're gonna continue doing it because they see Patrick doing it. You never said anything about it.
But that kind of goes to what you were saying. You're like, oh, sometimes they're okay with it because they like you. If you don't like you, they call it arrest.
There you go. Yeah,
it kind of matches what you're saying.
Because I'm telling you, I don't like what you're doing to me
because you don't have a relationship with me or you don't like me. Period.
It could be that. Here's one thing. if I'm okay, I have a close relationship with you, right?
Right.
I get to know you. I know how you are, and I like your personality. Whatever it is. And then this old dude come in like, oh, he's doing that to her. I could do that too. And then and I'm like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should stop.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure,
So
of
it's
course.
not about
I agree.
I like you, I don't like you. I just don't have that kind of relationship with you.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
no.
It's common sense, maybe. If you tell them,
Yeah,
no,
but
they have
no,
to
but
stop.
your sentence by saying if I like you, it's okay. If I don't like you, it's okay. Yeah, I don't like you. So no,
But
I
no,
feel
what-
some
no,
type
no,
of
no,
way.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant is that you quick to report people. I'm example though.
Mm-hmm.
People quick to report people that they don't like. Even sometimes they don't really do it for real. They don't report. Like, okay, if you like P does something to you even worse than I do. You don't report P, but you report me.
I like B.
There you go. You should.
So
talk.
what is exactly
That
is wrong with that?
but
I'm
you
okay
should
with
tell-
P doing
no,
it because of
listen,
my relationship
Listen,
with
it's
P.
because of your as Miss Michelle said, it's because of you, the way you treat yourself. People think they can do whatever to you. So if I do something to you, you don't like it, let me know about it. Maybe the way you're treating yourself, you're allowing people to do certain things. Or if I
No.
see people, that's how it is most of the time.
If P come in here and then touching my hair, oh my God, I love your hair today. I have that kind of relationship with P. You know what I mean? And then he's doing it, and I'm okay with it because we're friends. But you coming out of here just saw P did it, and you think it's okay, and you over here coming here and touching my hair, like no.
Come on,
So I'm
Miss
gonna
B.
tell you,
It's
no, I
it's
don't
common
like
sense.
you. No.
Exactly, it's common sense. You let them know. No, if they continue doing it, you do whatever you have to do.
Well, then
I
that's what
agree
I'm
with that.
saying. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay, so I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, then that's right. That's right. Okay, and it is it is 1 hour because I'm like, what do you mean? If I don't like you, I don't like you. Like, no, I don't like you touching my hand on it. But anyway, it is literally 1 hour under that. So final words, both topics. And to refresh your minds about the topic, first topic, should you leave or stay in a company after getting demoted? And the second segment was, should you date or your boss or your coworkers?
Yeah, so my last statement is mostly gonna, pretty much combine with my previous statement. It's a big no. It's a big yes. You should leave. Me personally, I would leave because if I had a manager position and then you bring me down to a regular employee and then a brand new guy become and be a manager, although it's good to evaluate myself to see why that happened, but I'm not gonna let you dictate my value. You can be correct by making that decision to demote me, but that does not mean I'm gonna do my best just to catch your attention so you can feel sympathy for me and give me that position back. Because once you lose a position, dude, it's going to be hard for you to get it back. I'll tell you that much. Because before they bring you down, they sit down and talk about it. Although it could be your fault, but at the end of the day, once you get demoted, they just leave. I mean, you don't have to leave right away. You can sit there, evaluate yourself, see what you need to work on, and date. That's about it. And yeah, and the second segment, yes and no. So if you had a relationship before you have the position, yeah, and if that relationship was serious, so I don't think anything I don't see anything wrong with that. But you guys always have to keep it professional as far as the job policy, right? But other than that, I do disagree with the idea of dating people that you work with. It's unhealthy. It's unethical. It's destroying company policy, violating company's policy. So I don't think you should be breaking any company's policy. So you should not be doing that. So yeah, that's my statement.
Very good.
Yeah.
Dr. G?
As for the first topic, should you stay at a job that demoted you? So my answer is you should stay. As Mr. Pat said, we evaluate yourself because most of the time they don't demote you just for no reason. You evaluate yourself. You did some wrong. Fix yourself up and then look for something else. And then the second topic is, should you date your coworker or your boss? My answer is no, no. It's a firm big no, because it's not healthy. I don't care how people see it. Is it possible for you to find your long-term partner? Of course, very possible. But if you think you're gonna do it for fun, unless you don't want your job. If you don't want your job, go for it. But if you need your job, don't do it. That's my answer.
Okay. For both, whether or not demotion or staying in a place after you get demoted or fraternizing with your coworker. People, how you get promoted is through people. I know we don't care about what people think about us, but your career growth is based on how people think, their perception of us. So at work, it matters because that's how you get promoted. The department is hiring, somebody put in a good words and boom, they take a look at your performance and you're in. So it matters. So don't just say you don't care how people think. But when it comes to demotion, if you don't think you can grow in a place, because once you get demoted, it gets very unhealthy sometimes. You're not satisfied. It's emotionally draining, especially if it was an unfair demotion. I'd say get out and get out as fast as you can. But make sure that you are financially ready to leave, because I don't want you to leave your responsibility behind and your ego get in the way. If you're financially able to leave, get out, because it really hinders your career growth by staying. So get out. Workplace relationship. If you are young, if you at a stage you have enough room to make more mistakes, it is absolutely something to check off your bucket list. So do it, get it done. The spice is amazing. But if you're old enough, just don't make it. You have responsibility. There's no more butterfly for you. So just stay away. It's not worth it. It really is not worth it. Just kid it off. That's what I have for you.
You want to finish with the comments? We got a couple comments.
We have a couple comments. It's not safe. Well, yep. Emmanuel have a few things to say. It's not safe because if the romance of the relationship goes wrong, they can file a sexual harassment complaint against you. That's interesting. Yeah. You could be in big trouble with HR, damage your professional reputation, and on top of that, they can even sue you, especially if that woman is a jealous person. You can't even breathe without causing any problem. It's not just women. Don't come from us. It's not just women, but yes, they can absolutely do that. So it is, honestly, it's your best bet. Go with this quote that says, what's it? It goes like, don't shit where you eat, or don't eat where you shit. Something like that. Don't shit where you eat. Just don't do it. It's really not worth it. So yes. No, I don't agree. It's not just women. Men can do it too. Emmanuel. But anyway,
speaking from a man's perspective, so since I don't know if he's a woman, but I think he's a man.
He's obviously. Stop it. That's your cousin, isn't he? But anyway,
things happen nowadays. So, hey, you can't just give people a name without knowing it.
Emmanuel, I think your cousin is playing games on you. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Again, Miss B.
Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next Sunday. See you.
All right, guys, follow the page, and we will see you next Sunday.
Subscribe, share it to your friends and family.